Hi, boys and girls. This is Ms. Kathy. I'm so happy you've joined me today for another story just for you. Wrong Number by Randy Fishell. Ring! I always grew a bit irritated when the sound of our telephone interrupted my study time. Nevertheless, I laid down my geography book, turned down the TV and stereo, and ambled over to answer the phone. "Hello?" I grunted. The person on the other end came back quickly. "Hello, Butch?" I recognized the voice as belonging to our elementary school principal and family friend, Mr. Filbert. That's odd, I thought to myself. He should know by now that my name isn't Butch. Has Mr. Filbert gone nutty or something? On the other hand, maybe this was Mr. Filbert's way of making me feel special. Yeah, that must be it. Butch was a pet name for me. "Yes," I finally replied, feeling good about our new relationship. Again, Mr. Filbert spoke snappily. "Butch, tell your mother to bring my belt, okay?" I sensed an urgency in his voice. The episode was again taking a turn toward the strange. Why would my mom have Mr. Filbert's belt? I decided not to risk making myself look stupid, however, just in case I was supposed to know the answer to this unsolved mystery. "Okay," I responded, as if I truly understood what was going on. "Thanks," Mr. Filbert said, apparently relieved. With that, he hung up. Adults can sure be weird sometimes, I thought to myself. Still shaking my little fourth-grade head, I wandered back to my geography book. Soon the screen of my mind was filled anew with pictures of foreign places. The screen on the television was probably filled with an I Love Lucy rerun. At any rate, thoughts of Mr. Filbert's belt became lost somewhere between the two. The incident might have been forever forgotten had Mr. and Mrs. Filbert not paid our family a visit one sunny Sabbath afternoon. About midway through their stay, some familiar sounds caught my ear. I hated to do it, but our son Butch needed to learn a lesson. What really bothered me, Mr. Filbert went on, is that Butch tried to tell me I never told him to tell his mother to bring my belt to the school board meeting. But sure as I'm a Filbert, I talked to him on the telephone that very afternoon. Butch? Mom? Belt? These words were too fresh in my mind for comfort. Could it be that Mr. Filbert had accidentally dialed our telephone number instead of his own? Still worse, might I be partially responsible for their son Butch getting an undeserved swatting? I knew what I had to do. Maybe I would feel a little stupid for not having asked a few more questions at the time, but it was still up to me to clear Butch's name. Mustering my courage, I croaked from between a couple posts in the stairway banister. "Mr. Filbert, could I ask you a question?" Our guest looked back at me curiously. The others in the living room also focused on the small, heavily perspiring boy sitting on the stairway. "Yes, I suppose so," Mr. Filbert responded. "What's your telephone number?" I asked, bracing myself just in case the worst should become reality. It did. Even as Mr. Filbert rattled off the 7 digits in question, guilt welled up in me like a nuclear mushroom cloud. Any half-smart fourth-grader, I seemed to fit that description, could see that one small slip-up would have directed his call to our house instead of his own. And while Mr. Filbert's dialing finger may have been the main culprit, I had played a part in Butch's taking a bum rap. "Mr. Filbert," I began after he had finished, "I'd just like to say that Butch wasn't the one who forgot to send your belt. I was." I then went on to explain what had really happened, that he had dialed our number by mistake and had actually spoken to me, not Butch. "I hope this puts your son in the clear," I continued. But I also wanted my principal to know that I was sorry he had not received his belt that night. With sorrow in my voice, I said to the slightly overweight educator, "If I could, Mr. Filbert, I'd give you a big belt right here and now." For some reason, Mr. Filbert didn't seem responsive to my apology. Fortunately, however, laughter soon took control of the situation, and I knew that everything was going to be all right. Best of all, I felt good knowing that Butch's name had been erased from the Filbert Family Book of Child Failings. It would have been an awful weight for me to carry around, knowing that I could have cleared his name but didn't. Now that I think about it, there was someone else who once took the blame for my misdeeds. Unlike Butch, however, Jesus did it on purpose, to clear my name. Now it's up to me, with the universe looking on, to do my part to clear his.
The story you have heard today is from Guide's Greatest Stories, written by various authors and compiled by Randy Fishell. and used with permission from the Pacific Press Publishing Association. If you're interested in any other books published by the Seventh-day Adventist Church, please visit AdventistBookCenter.com or call 1-800-765-6955.
This podcast is a production of the Carolina Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.